So this is a training that highlights something a lot of people miss or get wrong when it comes to dieting if you've got a fair bit of weight to lose, right? So this will be very, very helpful, and it'll also take off a bit of mental pressure, hopefully. So dieting is physically and mentally stressful. Physically, it's stressful because the body doesn't like being in a calorie deficit. Although it's very good for us, it reduces triglycerides, it improves good cholesterol, reduces bad cholesterol, improves inflammatory markers, and overall improves hormone health and increases longevity and all these things, reduces weight and pressure on joints. It could go on and on and on. It's a stressful environment for the body, and you burn out pretty quickly, especially from a mental capacity. You've all these things to focus on. You're expending so much energy without taking it in. And, if you're anywhere over 15% body fat, you've got stored energy there to fill those demands. Still doesn't take away, though, how stressful that can be. Mentally, it's taxing. It's hard to focus on things for a very long period of time. Um, and some people try to focus on it for a very long period of time, and that's where they go wrong. So we're going to get into why you have to take, not should take, you have to take diet breaks. So this is an example here. So in these 13 months, um, I dieted from January, and I'm going to get into different ways to do this because there's no right or wrong way, but I dieted from January to around April time. In that time, I'd lost about 8 kilos, which is about 16 pounds in 4 months. So about 4 pounds a month, but a pound a week. I had 4 or 5 high calorie weekends in there, as well as a couple maintenance days, which I'll get into. From April to August, I just maintained. My goal was not to lose weight. My goal was to maintain and hold the progress I already had. From August to November, I put the foot on the gas again, and I lost another 22 pounds. So the result was 13 pounds, 35 months. 13 months, sorry, 35 pounds. But I didn't just diet from like November 2024 to December 2025 consistently every single week, focusing on a calorie deficit. My head would have fell off completely. And if you do have a long road to go with your weight loss, this should take a bit of mental pressure off because it can be overwhelming thinking like, okay, right, this is me for the next year, this is me for the next 6 months, this is me for the next 2 years, whatever it may be. Because it's not the case, and it's actually beneficial for you to take breaks. I'm going to get into some studies to show you this, but we have to know when to slow down so you don't have to stop. So many people push, 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 blow up, and then they just quit the process and they don't get the results they came for. We have to know when to slow down so we don't have to stop. Even Formula One cars take pit stops in order to win the race. They get their tires rechanged. We are only human. We cannot go full blast forever. There's tons of studies here. We're going to get into each of them. So this is different ways to do diet breaks essentially. So this group in this study had 2 weeks of dieting and then 2 weeks of maintenance repeated. So they were maybe on, let's say, 1,500 calories for 2 weeks, and then they were on 2,200 calories for 2 weeks. And compared to people who continuously dieted, the diet break group who took the 2 week break lost more body fat. They had less metabolic adaptation, which means their metabolism slowed down less, which does happen when we diet. And they had better long term outcomes. So it didn't slow down fat loss, which you think it might do. I mean, these guys are dieting for 4 weeks and these guys are only dieting for two. It actually improved their fat loss. This study, this is for people doing a lot of strength training. They had 2 day refeeds. So a refeed is basically just a day or two or three where you, instead of being in a deficit, you bump your calories or your food up by like 600 or 700. So you eat a bit more. In this group, people had better muscle retention, and they lost less muscle than the other group. So the lesson from this is it helps you keep more muscle. You look better as a result. You maintain your metabolism better as a result. This one is a 1 week diet break. So athletes in a calorie deficit, let's take a boxer for example, 3 weeks dieting, 1 week at maintenance where they don't diet at all, where they bump up their food. Hunger, irritability went down, fullness went up, mental alertness, muscular endurance went up. So from a performance perspective, diet breaks massively improve your adherence to the whole process. And if you're watching this and you're like, geez, haven't took a diet break in a while, could maybe do with one. Time to decide ahead of time when you're going to take those diet breaks. And again, it can be like a 5-2 split. We diet for 5 days, 2 days we have maintenance. It can be, I'm going to go 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I'm going to do 3 weeks on, 1 week off. The off period, we want it to be maintenance level. If we're in a bit of a surplus, we can just wipe out our whole progress if we like. So the goal when you're diet breaking is not to lose weight. It's a switching mentality. If you're still weighing yourself, try not to get upset that weight's staying the same. That's the whole point of the process, right? And if you're naturally eating more food, weight might spike a wee bit. More food equals, if you've watched the weight fluctuation module, you'll understand that more food equals a higher weight on the scale. It's not body fat. Decide when your diet breaks are going to be. Decide when your periods for push is and when your periods for pulling back and recovering is. It'll only help your results. You'll look and feel better and be able to stick to it for so much longer. If I myself had a year to diet, last year, as I said, I did, and I decided for the summer, like I wasn't going to diet through summer. I was going to maintain my results. I'm going to build some muscle. I'm going to progress in the gym, focus on my performance, and I'm going to maintain what I've got here, so that when I go into my next phase of dieting, I'm in a better position. I started my first phase at 78, and I started my next phase at 70. I was in a much better position. I began to look better and better in the second phase. It could be as simple as, okay, I've got a holiday in March, so I'm going to take a week break there. That means I have to push for these many weeks. And then kids are off school actually over Easter, so I'll maybe take like 4 or 5 days at maintenance there, and start to plan this out. Like, you see this calendar at the background here? Get a calendar, stick it on your wall, map it out, plan it out. Diet, break, diet, break. It improves your adherence because you can say, okay, I'm not doing this forever. There's only 2 weeks and then I get a bit of a breather. There's only 1 week and then I get a bit of a breather. Make life easy for yourself. That they aren't the only studies out there that prove that this stuff works. Any weight loss result that is permanent, like they lose weight and they keep it off for life, has included diet breaks. So it's smart to take them. It isn't failure, and it's hard because sometimes you're like, I'm seeing progress. You get addicted to that dopamine hit you get from the drop in the scales, and it's hard to tell yourself when to pull back. Refeed days, cheat days, diet breaks, maintenance breaks, whatever you want to call them, whatever time frame you choose, they're valuable. Don't neglect them.